Chapter 12. Don't Be That Guy. There's a radio host who we've listened to for years. We enjoy his show. The guy's name is Brian Suits. We've never met him, but we have some commonality in that we all grew up in the same state. He and Kris went to the same university. It kind of goes on. No need to list everything beyond saying that we enjoy the guy's work. He has a saying that is pretty doggone good, and it applies to martial arts as well as to life in general. The enemy gets a vote. If, for instance, you get into a fight, you know that the other guy isn't just going to stand there and let you punch him in the face. He gets to choose what he wants to do too. Sometimes it's not actually an enemy. It's a competitor, a neighbor, or even the weather. Point is, we can't control everything. Suits has another saying we love: hope is not a plan. We could wax eloquently for hours about that one, but that's not the point of this chapter. His phrase that's our focus here is, don't be that guy. It's extraordinary. It's important. And it applies to most aspects of our lives. Here's an example of how to not be that guy in the context of a black belt examination. Recently, Kris posted congratulations to a student who had trained with him for a while. She traveled from Mumbai, India, via West Lafayette, Indiana, to Seattle to spend time in his dojo. That's one hell of a journey. She and her instructor contacted Kris and let him know that she was going to be in Seattle doing some postgraduate doctoral work. She wanted private lessons, and Kris relayed that the only time he had available was at 7 a.m. Her response: that sounds great. This woman from Indiana by way of Mumbai had to deal with the morning traffic in Seattle, ranked as the second worst in the nation. And because the West Seattle Bridge was under repairs at the time, she could not make a direct route to the dojo. She had to make a horrific detour through crowded side streets during early morning rush hour to arrive on time, yet she never missed a lesson. One time, a week in advance, she asked, "I have a conflict, Sensei. Can we reschedule?" Kris arranged an alternate time, and she was waiting at the front door of the dojo when he arrived. She was never late in the entire time they trained together. He was effectively just a stopgap to assist her in her training while in Seattle so that she could go back and take her black belt test from her instructor once she returned to West Lafayette. Kris was happy to do it. She was a great student, and when she did earn her Shodan, she showed us something exceptional. So, he posted about her accomplishment on social media. And now look, we're not expecting a high level of, discourse or conversation in regard to social media. We all know that, but we bring this up because we've been in the room when it's happened too, not just on social media. What happened, you ask? Well, someone posted, "Great. Now you've passed grade school. You're ready to learn. Now you're ready to learn." Wow, that's condescending, isn't it? It's not insightful. It's not encouraging. And frankly, it negates all the hard work it took for her to earn her rank. Her path was from, another continent across an ocean and so forth, while simultaneously juggling all the responsibilities that come with earning her PhD and doing postdoctoral work. Others might have to balance work or school, make arrangements for childcare, or overcome other struggles just to attend class, let alone progress through the ranks. We've got to respect that dedication and commitment, and a snarky, "now you've passed grade school" comment doesn't do that. Time is going to show these students the aspects of the newly minted black belt, what they need to know, how they need to behave, what they're in for, and how deep the water is at that far end of the pool. That comment was one of the most uncool wet blanket moves we can think of. You don't need to be that guy. You should enjoy the moment along with the student who earned it. It's a culmination of a good time. It's lots of effort, and just imagining being the person that made the accomplishment, you should enjoy the moment with them. We had one student, his mom asked if she could bring in a cake because it looked like her son was going to pass his advancement test. And it's like, yeah, he's going to pass. Bring in a cake. Absolutely. Let's have a party. And we did. And that's the way that it should be. Earning a black belt should never be a dour moment where you're told who you are and where you belong in the pecking order now. That's punkish behavior. cultish and uncool. There's a lot of effort that goes into getting to that place. There's a lot of money, time, and hard work. Honor it. Imagine being the person at a high school graduation who shakes the hand of the new graduate and says, "Well, you're done. You've done the minimum, and you're at the bottom of the pecking order now. Life's going to give you a series of dirt sandwiches from here on out. But if you work hard, you might get to where I am." That is ridiculous, and you'd probably get punched in the mouth. But is it the same to say that to a newly minted black belt? They're going to figure it out. They're going to know. They're going to see. There's going to be that education, sure, but don't spoil the moment. Respect it. Don't be that guy. Takeaways. Respect the work and effort of others. Don't be the person who brings negativity into a moment of achievement. Enjoy and celebrate accomplishments, yours and others. Quotes. Great achievement is usually born of great sacrifice and is never the result of selfishness. Napoleon Hill. You know what the true definition of hell is? It's when you die. You get to meet the person you could have been. Frank Mir. You need balance. That's why I like martial arts. It always tells you how to control your body, your mind, your heart. Jet Li.